Pledge of Allegiance. Before we do that, I just want to mention one thing. It's been a week of sadness and profound loss for our county this week. We lost Neil Fernandez, who was not only a volunteer firefighter, but I say he was just a real cheerleader for Meriwether County as a whole. And we certainly want to continue to remember his family and then those of our employees who work so closely with him. But at this time, if you'll stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. We do come to you today, Lord, asking for your continued blessings and comfort for the Fernandez family and the days to come. Dear Lord, we know we will miss him and the contributions he made to Meriwether County, but we'll always remember him. We ask that you be with us tonight as we take care of the business of this county, and as we always do, Lord, we just ask that you'll guide our thoughts, our words, and our actions, that we'll do what is pleasing to you, and at the same time, do what is in the best interest of those who live in this county. We ask that you be with everyone who is here tonight, and we ask that you give them a safe trip back to their respective homes. And we pray these things in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to adopt our agenda, but we do have several things that need to be amended. I'm just going to read those off. Under public hearing, proposed zoning amendments to Appendix A zoning ordinance. Amended to add under new business, number 13, allow chairman to sign 6/1/16, 7/1/17 renewal contribution worksheet. Amended to include under new business, number 14, permission to solicit bids on several culverts projects. Amended to include under future meetings and notices, change time on July 13th meeting to 9 a.m. Amended to include the correct spelling of Rosela in the June 8th minutes and also change Amy to Abby in those same minutes. All right, here in these amendments, can we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chair, so moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor? All right, we have the minutes from the June 8th regular meeting. We've had a chance to look over those. Do we have any corrections or changes that need to be made other than those that we've already amended?
I recommend that we accept the minutes as presented, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a second? A second. All in favor? We come to time for our municipal comments. We have Mayor Johnson with the City of Woodbury.
Yes.
Thank you. Buster told me I had to start coming to the meetings.
Great.
It was such a pleasure to have you all in town in Woodbury. I think it was Monday night for the town hall meeting, and I appreciate all the hard work that everyone who's been involved in that. The community is very excited about the possibilities and the development that lies ahead. So looking forward to the next meeting to see how much more progress has been made. And you're always welcome, and I appreciate everything.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mayor Glover from Greenville.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other cities represented? Okay. All right, we'll move to constitutional officers. And I do not see anything. Do you have anything from the sheriff's office?
No, ma'am, Madam Chair.
All right, we'll move to the department heads. We'll start with Ron.
I have only one thing over the cloak here. Make the commission board aware of what's causing citizen flaws. Who able to slight an individual able to throw the trash out on the side of the road. It was actually seen by a truck owner. She followed him. Took a picture of the car and tagged him before we were able to run him down. So action plans are conditions citation.
It's great.
Continue to get involved, let us know about it. Thanks for making strides. Little.
Thank you. Bren.
I'm going to defer my comments to Chief Alphonse Heinberg.
All right, Chief.
Good evening. Briefly, I just want to take time to mention, I'm especially on the northern side, but this last week's events has shed a lot of light on things, and it's probably always been a great report with our neighbors. But one of the things that I just wanted, that I thought was worth comment was, even though it was a pretty dark week, I was overwhelmed with the response that we got from the neighbors, and specifically Pike County and Coweta County and Noonan. And I just think it's worth mentioning because Pike County brought over a couple of trucks with about 7 people to help us staff stations where we're going. There were support from Caldwell County and Troup County. But to me, Pike and Coweta really, and Noonan really went above and beyond. The amount of participation, the amount of people, paid staff that was involved, I mean, it was a huge ordeal, and I was extremely touched, and I just wanted to mention that we really owe a debt to I consider Coweta like a big brother to us now, you know, and I'll probably spend the next week doing nothing but writing thank you letters to all the organizations, but I just wanted to mention how overwhelmed I was with the support that we got from our neighbors, so that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, Jane? All right, Joey?
Hi, in the corner.
Okay.
The deadline for assessment notices is July 11th at 5 o'clock closing hours, or postmark July 11th. We've actually had a fairly light appeal count on the sheet rock, but you have a couple more weeks if you need to file an appeal by writing. Contact our office for any information. Digest is moving along. We should be working with consolidation reports, meeting with the school board, with Bill, in the next week or so to start moving forward on looking at notice numbers and anything ready for the state this year. That's pretty good.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bruce?
I don't have anything this time.
Okay. All right, any other department heads? All right, Carolyn, you have anything from the chamber?
One quick thing.
Okay.
First, I want to thank Mayor Johnson for allowing us to use her space at the town hall meeting last week in Woodbury. And I especially want to thank Commissioner Hadley and Commissioner McCoy for their leadership in that town hall meeting. I think it was a great example of our county leadership coming together, giving the community an opportunity to express concerns and yet move forward with an important project. So thank y'all very much for your leadership. Also wanted to announce that we will be partnering with 4 other counties, Muskogee, Harris, Troup, and Heard, to conduct a candidate forum on July the 7th. It will be in LaGrange at their Callaway Conference Center. Bob Travel Jr. will serve as the moderator. So if you all can attend, this is open to the public, and this will be between Drew Ferguson and Mike Crane. Thank you. So I have some more things if anybody wants them. And then also wanted to let you know that as of today, we got a grant of $1,000 from Georgia Pacific to support our Partisan Education programs. And so that's going to go towards our Beverly Ball and Summer Focus program. And then lastly, I just want to let you know that we are kicking off Leadership Meriwether again. You may have realized that we did not conduct a Leadership Meriwether program last year. I think we had some other things underway, the merger in the chamber and so forth. So we didn't do one last year, but I have recruited Joy Evans from the Woodbury community. I don't know if you all know Joy, but she is a former Leadership Meriwether graduate and also a citizen of Woodbury, and she is just very, very excited about serving as our class coach or session coordinator, if you will, for the entire year. So I'll only be doing some of the introductory administrative things and the team building, and then she's going to take it from there. So that'll be a big help to me and a great show of her volunteer leadership. So if you get a chance to thank her, I appreciate it. We have 16 candidates that have already signed up and confirmed, 4 of whom are Meriwether County employees, including Keith Brady, Iris Nash, Amy Hearn, and June Underwood. So if y'all have anybody else that you want to recommend, then please let me know. We're working on finalizing those arrangements as we speak. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to public hearing. Can we have a motion to go into a public hearing? So have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Ron?
There's a sign-in sheet for just in case.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming before the commission with proposed amendments that I'm proposing to our zoning ordinance text. This is the first major amendment that we've had since we adopted our new ordinance and current ordinance in 2006. And because of changes in demographics in this county, changes in development patterns, changes in issues and things that are now being concentrated on that were not in 2006, such as agribusiness, agritourism, and things of that nature, has prompted me to make these proposed amendments to the commission board, and they've already been to the public hearing of the planning commission, and the planning commission is recommended to be approved by the board also. So I will go briefly over what these amendments are. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask me about them, as well as the public. But what I'm proposing to do is add definitions to our zone ordinance that we didn't have in place now. One definition is agribusiness. The definition of agricultural operations or agricultural farm products, banquet hall, caterer, shooting ranges, indoor and outdoor, and special events. Those definitions will be added to the zoning text, and then I believe you have a copy of this in your file. If you look on that table, it shows where all our listed, zoning districts and uses. You should have a copy of that. I'll call your attention to page 1079. That's the first deletion that I'm proposing in the permit use. And that I'm proposing that we delete farming, horticultural, personal use. Now all these are going to be covered in use that I'm going to add back. Another permit use I'm recommending we delete is farming, horticulture, or commercial use. Then on the next page, 10A, delete livestock, commercial operations. And then on page 10A1, delete livestock, raising and keeping for personal pleasure, livestock sales or auction. I think that's all. And in the place of those, I'm recommending that we add, and you'll see this draft sheet that I've got with all the added uses. This is what I hand drafted. Okay, propose that we add as permitted uses and some special uses, agribusiness, which is not in our zone text now. We're going to add that to be allowed in A1, RR, LDR, commercial and industrial. Agricultural operations be added in A1, RR, LDR, and RD. And you'll note there that I've got the minimum 2 acres required for this agricultural operation with a restriction of 50 feet from the property line for feeding and housing structures. What this will allow to take place is a lot of people now won't raise chickens or little goats, something like that on their property. Right now, our ordinance does not permit that. So this will allow people to have little backyard farms, if you want to term it that way, that would be allowed in the A1 zone district, RR, LDR, and RD, with those restrictions of 2 acres, and all feeding and housing structure will be 50 feet from the property line. Then I'm adding a banquet hall. We actually do not have this in our zone ordinance now. We've got 2 of them in the county now. and they both were by special permission several years back. But in the banquet hall, we will allow those in A1, RR, commercial, and industrial. And a minimum lot size in A1 and RR will be 35 acres. And the reason for that minimum lot size is because that gives enough area for the banquet hall to be built, enough area for parking, plenty of parking. It also puts it out a distance, I think, far enough from any adjoining property owners who won't be disturbed by noise or lights, anything like that. So of course, in the commercial zone, somebody wants to put one in commercial, you know, they can sit on a 1 acre lot in commercial. But in all the rural areas, I thought it best that we require 35 acres a minute to accommodate the building, park, and also separate from neighbors. We got one now that's on Adder Road. It sits on 120 acres. And I have banking out there from time to time. We never get complaints about traffic or people out there enjoying themselves at the banquet hall. The other permit use would be caterer. And that will be allowed in as a special use approval. This won't be just an automatic approval when somebody wants to do a catering business. They will have to go through the full zoning process and get permission from the Board of Commissioners to do catering. And that will be allowed in A1, RR, LDR, RD, commercial. Then shooting ranges, we're going to add that to our zone ordinance, not in there now. There's a provision for shooting ranges, both indoor and outdoor. And if you notice in your packet, I've got about three pages of regulations concerning shooting ranges. And there's a note that will be in our ordinance to see Article 5 for those requirements. That's Article 5 is another chapter in our zoning text. And you just be directed to that chapter to read all those requirements. And then the other permitted use will be special events. We don't have that currently. We have special events. People have been calling me pretty regular wanting to do special events. A permit is going to be required. And then all the requirements for special events will be found in the alcohol ordinance, section 3-144, section 3-145 for requirements. Special events will be allowed in all zoning districts. And then of course a permit is required. There's a lot of real strict regulation concerning special events. And you have on your agenda tonight the second reading to approve the special event ordinance. That ordinance is not a part of the zone ordinance. It will be a part of the alcohol ordinance, but if we amend the zoning text, they will now be allowed in all these zoning districts with all restrictions that are found in the alcohol ordinance. So this special events will allow people to have little special events for agritourism or these little festivals and things like that. I've had several people waiting for this to be approved before they move forward with some plans they already called me about. And so this will allow those things to take place in the county. And that's it. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Are there any questions from anyone in the audience?
I got one on the minimum acreage there. If somebody has already got an event and doesn't have that minimum acreage, what's going to happen to them? If somebody is already doing it, but doesn't have, you said what? 20?
This is for a banquet hall.
Okay, for banquet hall.
Yeah,
Okay.
35 acre minimum.
If somebody's already doing that and doesn't have 35 acres, where does that put them?
It has to be 35 acres for a banquet hall.
Okay.
That's a big facility with parking for the public to come into. Have a huge conference room or fellowship hall or cafeteria.
But if somebody is already in that business and doesn't have the 35 acres, where does that leave them? Are you going to grandfather somebody like that?
Well, I have to look at that and see.
It wouldn't affect them. It wouldn't
unless they lost their business license or something
Had to
of that
redo it.
nature, then it would affect them.
But see, I don't know who you're talking about, but they might
I don't
not know.
know either, but it's just the thought that if somebody's out there, if they got a,
He said it wasn't two of them.
yeah,
Two of them.
Yeah, we got two banquet halls.
yeah.
I'm sure there's some special events going on now in different places, but, you know, we don't know about it. Right now, they're illegal until a vote tonight. Then special events will be legal everywhere as long as they get the permit requirements satisfied in my office.
Would it affect nonprofit organizations at all? Like our American Legion, Coach? Unless we rented it out?
Unless you rent it out. If it's a private thing, American Legion get together on membership, you don't need a special permit for that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have some questions. Once again, on the banquet hall, 35 acres, you base that solely on what we have in the county or what's in the surrounding areas? How did you come up with 35 acres?
Well, it's just basically
And
based,
why that such a large amount, I guess? That's why I'm curious.
well, to accommodate the building, if someone wants to build a new building for a banquet hall. Also accommodate parking. And the biggest factor is to separate the banquet hall from adjoining neighbors. Now, the banquet hall that's out here on Adler Road, when it first opened up, we had a lot of problems. Even that far out. Now the new owner has that, had it for 2 or 3 years. Ain't been a problem out there. But, you know, out in areas other than commercial, we got, a lot of our county is rural, and we've got some lots that are real close to each other. If we allowed a banquet hall to be built on a 5-acre tract, it's gonna be close to somebody, and that's gonna be a problem.
So you run for parking,
Well,
I was thinking, that lower acreage.
Well, I guess my other question is this also based on the size of the building? If, let's say the square footage of the building, let's say the maximum people in this one building might only be 200 versus someone who's building a facility that can hold up to 2,000 people versus someone who has a banquet hall that may be using it to promote conferences and things of that nature versus someone having a banquet hall that's having weddings and receptions on a smaller scale. I'm thinking, my concern is for the small business person who wants to start that kind of business. That's a lot of acreage and land. And if, let's say, if, you know, you've grown it. The one in Alley, it's not just strictly it has banquets events, but he also farms. He does other things on that land other than just having events. So I guess my distinction is if it's strictly banquet hall and not just having other events, let's say you're using it, the place that's off of
Dogwood Farm?
Right. I mean, they're doing, they have one spot on there where they can have a banquet, but they're doing other things. They're doing agribusiness, agritourism.
Right.
But if you're not doing that and you strictly just having a banquet hall, you're saying in order to do that in Marietta County, you have to have at least 35 acres.
That's my recommendation. And it's mainly to accommodate a building, whether it be a 2,000 square foot building or 6,000, 7,000 square foot building. Have enough room for parking, and also have a separation from the neighbors.
Mr. Garrett, just looking here, let me see if I can clarify this, Ms. Earl. Only 2 zones will require 35 acres. That being the agricultural district and the rural reserve. Is that the way I'm reading this?
Yeah, that's right.
If you come over and you're a neighborhood, NHC, or you're industrial, you don't require that acreage.
That's right.
It's only for those, in those particular the agricultural and rural. Right.
Yeah, which
That's what I'm seeing here.
which could be real close residential.
Okay, so just help me, I want clarity. So if the one on Alley Road, because it is a RR or A1, it's required. But if someone wanted to build an event center, say, outside of Monroe, and it is a commercial area, then they don't need the 35 acres.
That's right.
So the requirement, as long as you're not in a residential area,
Right,
you can put a building up and have an event center and it don't require the 35 acres.
That's right.
Only it's residential.
that's right. Well, all these zone districts they're residential, all of them are,
Yeah.
but they're also, when you get into A1 and RR, our minimum acreage in each one of those districts is 25 or 10 acres. And when you get in any of those districts in the county, you could have, even in those districts, you could have close neighbors.
I understand, I hear what you're saying, I'm also just trying to get clarity, because my thought is this, let's say you have a church, and this church now wants to build a different facility separate from their sanctuary, but a lot of churches have a separate area and they have banquet centers in that. So will that have the same effect, or their zoning different because it's a church? Let's say you got a church right here, and across the hall, across the street, the church owns some property, and they want to put a banquet facility there that will be used for the church, and they may use it for other events. How does that affect them?
That would not affect them. They would be allowed to do that under kind of like a fellowship hall, just an extension of their property.
But it's not attached to the church, though.
That's right, but it would be a part of the church.
If it's
A banquet hall is something that's rented out for profit. And you could have all kinds of events there. Yeah.
One of the things, and Ron may already have this in place, he mentioned the 35 acres was important to keep separation in the rural areas from the neighbors. Another thing you might want to do is, in addition to that, is look at establishing a minimum distance from the property line. Because you could have 35 acres, it could be a very linear property, and still have folks close to their neighbors. So we may already have that, Ron, I wasn't sure, but.
Well, our setbacks now is 50 feet from the side property line. So if somebody,
that would not help that situation? Without having to have that much land?
well, if it was an existing lot, like Mr. Gay's talking about, and it's rectangle in shape, it's 35 acres. That would probably be allowed. But probably, I would evaluate each application that comes for a banquet hall, to look at the whole situation. May require them to move the banquet hall back on the backside of 35 acres.
At any rate, you would be involved in the siting of that building.
I would. And if a situation came up that someone wanted to buy a property and build a banquet hall there for the purpose of having major events, that's what I consider a banquet hall, as opposed to, a church having little festivities from time to time. We could look at maybe allowing variances, which would come to the planning commission.
Are there any other questions? Anything else, Ron?
That's all I have.
Do you have a motion to go out of the public hearing?
So moved.
And second, all in favor? All right, we're back in the regular meeting. Now we need to take a vote on the amendments that Ron has presented to us about the permitted uses and special uses and all the items that he's mentioned for the zoning ordinances.
You said the argument for something.
Well, this is coming to us as a recommendation from the planning commission.
Yes.
I move we accepted this.
We have a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? move on to old business. Our first item there is a change in county code. We need to table that to our next meeting. Can we have a motion for that, please?
Motion to table.
Have a second? All in favor? All right, next item on the agenda is roof for the jail.
This was tabled from last meeting, got the memo from us recommending MGR solutions for a spray-on membrane system. Additionally, I gave you a copy of some warranty overview. In the third line down, the 15 years, I was mistaken, it's an 80 mil application, not 60. And on top of the 80 mil, they provide a 20 mil, I guess, sun-reflecting, weather-tight membrane, so it's really 100 mil protection. At the end of the 15-year warranty, the installer comes back and reapplies the 20 mil protected layer, and they'll extend the warranty for another 25 years. And the cost of that would be between $2 and $3 a square foot, which is approximately $25,000. So, but based on that warranty information that we supplied, we make the recommendation that the board approve MGR Solutions, Manchester, Georgia, $135,052 to be paid for out of SPOS proceeds. $135,052.
All right, do you have any questions? I think I'll discuss this in the last meeting.
One question I would have is, have we had any feedback from Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Smith, or anyone, pros, cons, input?
I hadn't heard anything back from them.
And I know you asked me to talk to them, and just did not get a chance to catch up with them. They were involved when we were originally bidding the process, but I didn't get a chance to talk to them about their involvement. We could get their concurrence before we move forward.
I would say we go ahead and, I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept this bid, 135,052 with MJR Solutions, and pending this is with Sheriff Smith's approval.
His staff will be very much involved in the
Exactly.
process as well.
Exactly, and I think that we need that input from the Sheriff's Department.
Sure.
Personally, that's a personal feeling.
We'll do that.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Next is water and sewage bond payments. Mr. Gay?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, Commissioner, this is back before the board tonight, and we have a member of the Water and Sewer Authority here. My recommendation would be, because I know we're still all thinking about how to make this work long-term, and I know they're going to have some growth in their water users. And I know that you'd been presented with an option 1 and an option 2, but there's some other things that I think, we may want to talk about as well. So my recommendation would be tonight for you guys to approve the necessary funding to make this July the 1st bond payment, which is coming up.
But end of July.
End of July,
Yeah, end of July.
bond payment, and then allow us to come back with some options on how to deal with that funding needs going forward.
And what's that amount going to be?
What is that amount?
It's $15,000 a month is what we're going to be looking to.
But we're looking at one payment right now to take a vote on, as far as it's due the end of July.
Yeah, it's actually $15,966.31.
Say that again, please.
$15,966.31.
And this is for,
And again,
This will be just one
recommendation.
payment, be the end of July. All right, hearing this motion from Mr. Gay, the suggestion, can we have a motion regarding the payment of $15,966.31 for the water and sewer bond, which end of July?
There was a substantial savings that was achieved when, the county and Water and Sewer Authority reworked the bonds.
When we look back at the history of our allocating of the tipping fees, both of our bonds are revenue bonds, and the tipping fee is the revenue that it gets paid back from. But nowhere in each bond does it suggest that we try to pay that back with only a portion of the tipping fees. We started out with only getting $1.33 a ton. Our intergovernmental agreement says we're supposed to get $1.50 a ton. This was done way back when the folks in charge thought the tipping tonnage was going to be much more than it ever has been, and they actually thought that that would make our payment, but it never has. And the two options there we're going to be looking at later on when we do some more figures is we really need to have that intergovernmental agreement come up to an amount that'll make our actual payment. Putting a Band-Aid on us every month is just going to be a Band-Aid effect.
Yeah, and we plan to do something permanently. We just need a little more time before we
Yeah.
decide what we're gonna do. We can take care of what's due now, and that gives us another month to get some more answers.
But also, realize when we did this refinancing, we gave our bondholders back $1.7 million. So, we did a lot to get this refinancing done.
Absolutely.
And so, but now we need a little help to making the payments. Thanks.
I just want to make a comment.
Sure.
I still have some concerns about this personally, and thank you, Mr. Gay, for getting back on this and looking at some different options. I more than likely will vote for this time, but I will want it clear that definitely some more discussion needs to be done on this and long-termly, because I just think for what all this board has already done to assist in this matter, and I heard what you said as well, but I definitely think some more discussion long-term needs to be addressed to this.
Well, this bond right now, we got 24 years, so we got a long time.
And ultimately,
I'm
we're
not
responsible.
talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
We got 24 years to make payments on it.
And ultimately, we are responsible.
Well,
But
at the
hopefully,
end of
we
the
can come
day,
up with some other options and something to ease the pain.
Yeah, we got, a couple of things we want to come back on.
Okay. All right, hearing the recommendation, can we have a motion?
Madam Chair, what I've heard, I will make a recommendation, we pay the July bond payment and leave open further discussion during that time.
Okay, we have a second. Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda was the second reading of the proposed amendments on the alcoholic beverages, and we need to table that. Isn't that right? Okay, we have a motion to table that for our next meeting.
So moved.
Have a second? All in favor? All right, under new business, we have some sheriff's office vehicles that we need to surplus. Who does that?
We can do that. There's just,
They're listed in here.
yeah, they are. There's some, sheriff's vehicles, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got the VIN numbers involved, and the request is to surplus those vehicles. They're not in service, and the sheriff's department's represented here tonight. Any other things I need to mention on that? I mean, that's the request.
The biggest majority of these vehicles, they're not running anyway, and if we can go ahead and get them all out of the inventory, then it will give us an option to be able to try to at least get something used or something for at least replace some of what we've got in the mix, we'll get a surplus to get them all out of it.
And I think that'll also take them off our insurance once we do that as well, so reduce our insurance.
All right, we have the list here of 4 vehicles. We have a motion to surplus these items from the sheriff's office.
I move we surplus those items, Madam Chair.
We have a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, next is the appointment to DFAX, and I believe that's Commissioner Plant's district.
I'd like to reappoint Ms. Geraldine Washington. I have spoken to Ms. Washington, and she's willing to serve, and we appreciate that service. And if something is needed, would you like?
Hear this motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, next is the appointment to Pathways. That is Commissioner Greg Gill's appointment, and he is unable to be here tonight, so can we have a motion to table that?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? Next are the appointments to the Region EMS Council, and, what are y'all doing, or are you doing that one?
Yes, ma'am. We, county has two appointments to Region EMS, Region 4 EMS Council. And both of those employees, one was Chris Tucker, and the other was another lady in the department. And of course, they're no longer with Coweta County, at least Chris is not. And we need to go ahead and reappoint two members here.
Okay.
And my recommendation would be Chief Pinenberg and Keith Grady. They have both served us very well, and I think they'll both bring different experiences and aspects to the appointment, and that would be my recommendation.
Okay. All right, hearing this recommendation, can we have a motion to appoint Mr. Brady and Mr. Feinberg to the Region 4 EMS Council?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is the contact and safety coordinator, and allow the chairman to sign the safety discount verification form. I think we have that in our package, the information on that. Is there any comments that needs to be made on it?
I just want to mention that through the efforts of Beverly, we were able to get some additional savings on this program. I appreciate her hard work on that, and having the safety meetings and safety coordinators is a big component of that. So, our recommendation would be, as the packet reads, with the contact being Beverly Thomas and the safety coordinator being Alphonse Pinenberg.
All right, can we have a motion to accept Beverly Thomas and Alphonse Pinenberg as the contact and safety coordinator, and allow the chairman to sign the verification form?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay, next will be to award the 2006 tax anticipation date. Mr. Bill?
I'm sure you got the, the memo in front of you. We advertised for a 2016 tax anticipation note and sent out solicitations to the banks within the county, and received 2 bids back, and you have those bids listed there on the memo. And it's our recommendation to award the 2016 TAN note for up to $2 million to First Peoples Bank. It's a simple interest rate of 1.64% per annum.
Okay. All right, hearing this.
And for the chairman to be able to sign the note.
Sign, okay. All right, we have a recommendation to accept the bid for the TAN note and for the chairman to sign.
I move we accept the First Peoples Bank's what I heard.
Okay, have a
And
second?
chairman to sign.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do we have any idea when we won't be needing to go into it? I mean, we've
we-
come a long way.
We dipped below $1 million yesterday, but we're back over $1 million today.
So we're still
Probably end of July, first week or 2 in August, about the same time that you did last year,
Okay, that's good.
depending on how quickly we get the road work done.
Okay. All right, thank you. Next is the DFAX rental renewal.
Madam Chairman, Commissioners, this rental agreement was originally approved back in October of 2012, and it gave the Department of Human Services, or DFAX, the option to extend that term for 5 additional periods of 1 year each. And they have notified us that they do intend on extending this for another 12-month period beginning July 1, 2016 and ending June 30, 2017. I think after next year, we'll need to see exactly what the original says. That should be the end of the 5-year term, and maybe we can, do some negotiations of the rental rates and things of that nature.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, can we have a motion to accept the DFAX rental renewal for another year?
So moved,
Have
Madam
a
Chair.
have a second? Second. All in favor? All right, next we have a budget amendment number 10. Mr. Bill?
I'm sure you have before you the budget amendment number 10, recognizing $5,500 grant receipt relating to the animal clinic. and a copy of the letter from the foundation that supplied the grant, praising the staff at the animal shelter and the work they've done in documentation of the previous grant and the work that they're doing up there. It's our recommendation that we accept this grant.
Okay. Can we have a motion to accept this grant for the animal shelter?
I move that we accept the grant for the animal shelter.
Second? Second. All in favor? Next is the indigent services agreement.
Madam Chairman, Commissioners, this is our agreement for indigent services, public defender, and this contract is modified based upon the budget. They submitted an original budget. We went back with a recommended lower budget, which was only a 2.5% net cost of living adjustment. And so we supplied them those figures, and they brought back this contract, which is essentially the same as last year, with the exception of the cost of living. And it was based upon the submission that you guys had approved to the agency back meeting or so ago. So it's a continuation of that contract for public defender services.
Can we have a motion to accept the agreement?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Next on the agenda is Carrie Murphy, and this is legislation, support legislation for election qualification.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and members of the Board of Commission. This actually looks longer and worse than it's going to be. I don't want you to panic when you look at all the paperwork. I want to thank you, first of all, for allowing me this time. I'm here tonight to ask for your help in changing laws and or the abuse of them that I feel impact Meriwether County. The Board of Elections is charged with enforcing these laws. I met with the board and superintendent Monday, June 13, 2016. They are aware of what I'm going to tell you, and they have been given the same documentation. I will go over each law with you and then address what I feel needs to be changed and why. Please open your folder to the document that reads Article 2, Georgia Constitution, Paragraph 3. Who has been convicted of a felony involving moral turpitude unless that person's civil rights have been restored and at least 10 years have elapsed from the date of the completion of the sentence without a subsequent conviction of another felony involving moral turpitude. What this does not say is first offender. And I feel like that it should say first offender, because to the lay person, when you read it, if you've been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude, then you follow this law. First offender is about second chances. I do not believe it was meant to be used as an abuse of power. The next paragraph is who is a defaulter for any federal, state, county, municipal, or school system taxes required of such office holder or candidate if such person has been finally adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction to owe those taxes. But since such an eligibility may be removed at any time by full payment thereof or by making payments to the tax authority pursuant to a payment plan. If a candidate, in my opinion, owes any taxes, they should not be allowed to qualify. To me, it is morally and ethically wrong for someone to be able to vote a budget up or down that they are not helping to pay for. In Meriwether, we are on an honor system, not a written signed document, such as the one from the Georgia Department of Revenue. See considering partial payments in your packet. Adjudicated is a joke. Taxes have been owed for a number of years. That should be adjudicated enough. If you think the character of the individual candidate or office holder does not matter, think again. According to the last figure I have, Meriwether County is owed almost $2.8 million in delinquent taxes. The next document is 21-2-217, Rules for Determining Residence. In determining the residence of a person desiring to register to vote or to qualify to run for elective office, the following rules shall be followed so far as they are applicable. The rules in this does not consider or does not say city charters, city ordinances, county policy, or county districts. The residence of any person shall be held to be that place in which such person's habitation is fixed, without any present intention of removing therefrom. Habitation to me is an interesting word. According to the dictionary, it means the act of living in a place fit for human habitation, a place or building lived in. There is no mention of complying in this statute with complying with utility requirements or zoning ordinance for the county or city. A person shall not be considered to have lost such person's resident who leaves such person's home and goes into another state or county or municipality in this state for temporary purposes only, with the intention of returning, unless such person shall register to vote or perform other acts indicating a desire to change such person's citizenship and residence. Number 3, a person shall not be considered to have gained a residence in any county or municipality of this state into which such person has come for temporary purposes only, without the intention of making such county or municipality such person's permanent place of abode. With 2 and 3, I feel the individual citizen has been given the same rights given to military families. This rule gives the candidate the opportunity to run wherever his or her political affiliation is at any given time. Number 6, if a person removes to another county or municipality within this state with the intention of remaining there an indefinite time and making such county or municipality such person's place of residence, such person shall be considered to have lost such person's residence in the former county or municipality, notwithstanding that such person may intend to return at some indefinite future period. How long is indefinite? Number 14, the specific address in the county or municipality in which a person has declared homestead exemption, if a homestead exemption has been claimed, shall be deemed the person's residence address. Be prepared to revisit all of the above, plus where the post office box is, where tags are bought, and don't let me forget where all taxes are filed from, and those that are paid or not paid from. The next document is 21-2-6, Qualification of Candidates for County and Municipal Offices, Determination of Qualifications. Every candidate for county office who is certified by the County Executive Committee or political party or who files a notice of candidacy, and every candidate for municipal office is certified by a Municipal Executive Committee of a political party or files a notice of candidacy shall meet the constitutional and statutory qualifications for holding the office being sought. See the notice of candidacy and affidavit. Go down to where it says, I understand that any false statement knowingly made by me in this notice of candidacy and affidavit will subject me to criminal penalties as provided by law, and I hereby request you to cause my name to be placed on the ballots to be used in such election as a candidate for the office I am seeking. Some candidates have absolutely no problem perjuring themselves. Candidates know when they owe taxes, especially if they have owed them for a number of years. Candidates know where their fixed habitation is. B, the superintendent upon his or her own motion may challenge the qualifications of any candidate referred to in subsection A of this code section at any time prior to the election of such candidate, period. I'm glad there's a period at the end of that sentence because I think that is exactly what should be done. The superintendent should be charged with vetting candidates. The average citizen does not know what to do, what information is and is not a matter of public record, how to access open records. Internet service is not always available to all. It is time-consuming and it costs money. If we continue to let the state override municipal charters and county policies, we might as well cease to exist. I have given up the route of talking to individuals, public or private, and I have decided to enlist the help of all elected officials in an effort to get the legislature to act. I'm tired of hearing, change it at the polls. I've enclosed some examples of what cannot be changed at the polls. Taxes owed during a term of office, taxes owed on qualifying property, taxes owed by a qualified candidate. The tax bill goes to the qualified candidate, however, the property does not belong to the qualified candidate. Who would you say owes the taxes to Meriwether County? It looks as if it's a shell game of gifts, so nobody knows who owns what. I am asking the Board of Commissioners, Madam Chairman, to help me by calling a meeting and inviting all city council, constitutional officers, and members of the legislature that represents Meriwether County. Because for a number of years now, I have, and friends of mine, have worked on this issue. Some of this has been as far as the Georgia Supreme Court. We've been to the Secretary of State's office, we've been to the Attorney General's office, notified the Justice Department, talked to the ACLU, the list goes on and on. As a private citizen, they're saying, okay, you may vote for me, but you are not the elected body of the place where you live. We've been to the Secretary of State's office when the room was wall to wall, and a lot of people were there for the very same reason that we were there. It seems like that the election laws have basically opened it up to where you can run for office wherever you want to. There is ways to, and as in all things, there's always been ways to avoid doing things. But that sort of thing, to me, impacts Meriwether County on every level, because so much of how we progress, whether it's the schools, our cities, or the county as a whole, we must have leadership that we can depend on. And if I don't owe my taxes, and I'm sitting on your board, or I'm sitting on city council, or whatever the case may be, my first thought is when somebody says something about that person or this person owes taxes, I owe mine, so why should I insist upon that? Same way with zoning laws or whatever the case may be. This is a leadership issue for me. It's a right and wrong issue for me. And I need your help to try to help me to change what needs to be changed within these laws to define to the lay person who runs for office in Meriwether County, who represents us in Meriwether County. I realize that this is a lot to take in, and I don't really expect you to say yay or nay tonight, but I really want you to consider giving me the help with the legislature. And I feel like that if you could bring all these other bodies together, city councils and constitutional officers, then maybe I would only have to go through this one more time and everybody would maybe understand what I'm saying and be on board and try to help me move it forward.
Let me ask one thing. I guess I was under the assumption that
you sign saying you don't owe taxes, and that somebody did check that out, but obviously that's not the case.
No,
Same
ma'am.
with residency.
It
So
is,
what
it
you're
is.
saying is, in order for this to be our guidelines, our laws, we have to have the legislature to help us change this.
Yes, ma'am, because the superintendent of elections leaves it to the private citizen. The next
Is that just our county, or is that any county?
No, ma'am.
That's everywhere?
Everywhere.
Okay.
It's not just us. But it just happens that this is home, and I see the impact of it on us. But it happens everywhere. I have been to party meetings where we were going to qualify for an election, and they will tell you that the superintendent is not the one that's going to catch it. You may have a private individual that will bring it forward. If they don't, whoever that candidate is moving right on up the line to election day and where you're sitting, if that be the case.
I think the very least we could expect is the people who want to run our county or city or whatever pays their taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and it's come to my attention just, and you mentioned the $2.8 million that's owed to us, and unfortunately that is the case, and something that we're working on. But what I have found in looking through those records, because I have been looking through them to see who owes what, we have people that come before this board asking us to give them money.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
they don't pay the taxes, so I think that's going to have to be a requirement. If you want to ask us for money, let's see if you paid your taxes first, because that is a problem as you go down through those lists. But I appreciate this information.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know, I guess it's one of those things, just assumed somebody was taking care of it, and obviously it's not. So as far as I'm concerned, we'd have Mr. Gay to get our legislators together. We can see if we can get our municipalities together, and if the rest of the board wants to do that, and we see what we need to do about it.
Madam Chair, what I'm hearing loud and clear from you, Ms. Terry, the laws are on the books, let's put teeth in them, let's see quid for it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
And I think you're probably absolutely right on that. You've done a great presentation, your research looks great. We thank you for that.
Thank you, darling.
Madam Chair, I want to comment. This is a legislation issue. This is not it's not isolated in the sense that it can happen in any county. It's not just a Marietta County issue. And I guess my concern is, and I will do my due diligence to read the statute on some of the things that we can do, but as you already know, counties are mandated to do certain things, and we are limited in some of those mandates. So once again, this is a big endeavor to take on, because
Yes.
this requires 159 counties to make the same change.
Yes. And what I'm hoping, Ms. Shirley, is when we meet with the legislature, hopefully they are going to, well, I'll give you an example. And some of you are going to know who I'm talking about. When Danny Lee first went to the Senate, that was my request. I said, I do not want anybody to run for public office. I don't care where you are, what position you're in, and owe taxes. He said, well, Ms. Murphy, I'll see what I can do about that, but he says there's several of my colleagues at the State Department, in the State House, that I feel sure owes taxes, and I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of traction with that. And the reason that I'm coming to you as a body is, like I said, seemingly as a private citizen, and Mr. Garrett has been with me on every step of the way with this. It seems like we're there representing us as a private citizen and 2 votes. And if you say, is there anything you can do about it? Their first thing is, well, you'll have to talk to your elected officials, or you'll have to talk to your legislature. So we finally, after running against that wall for a number of years, said, okay, if that be the case, then let's just bring all of the folks that we helped to elect to office in Marietta County, go before us with the legislature and say, okay, you're elected by this county, you may be elected by Troop, it has same problems, same issues. Coweta, same problem, same issue. I even had a young man tell me, this wouldn't happen in Meriwether County, in Coweta County. I was like, oh yes it will, and it has. And so, that's what I'm saying, but it's just like you, some of this stuff, you didn't have a reason to know. Because when you got to the place where you were supposed to sign this affidavit, and it said, this is where I live, this is what, I don't owe any taxes, and whatever the paragraph says. All you did was sign on the dotted line. You were free to go. But I'm telling you that all over this state, there are people signing on the dotted line that know full well that they are not in compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you hearing me.
All right, next on the agenda is Alan Sigley.
Hello,
Hey,
it's been 3 months. Ain't nobody been down there and done a thing. Still haven't walked home. Still no fire service. Still no ambulance. Still no police. He hasn't called me back in 2-3 weeks. He finally called Dad today.
I did.
Today. And he's left you 4 or 5 messages, and I've left you more than that.
I'm sorry.
No, I know. You got the big county to run, so somebody else has got to help you. We're not getting nothing done.
Yeah, well, I'll be glad to update the board and Alan on what has happened since then. You know, as I told you Dad today, we've not dropped this. We've not forgotten.
It don't matter. I'm still walking home, y'all. It don't matter. It's lip service. It's the same thing I'm getting for 3
let
months.
him talk.
Anyway, we have contacted GDOT. We have constantly pushed this issue. Everybody will tell you dealing with railroads is tough. It's been going on 20 years, is
I know.
what you told me. And I told you Dad today, the one difference in maybe, I don't know what happened 20 years ago, is we're not dropping this. Last week, the Department of Transportation, because we had called them and involved them in this, had said they are going to start fining CSX $500 a day unless they come back with a resolution to this issue and address the maintenance issue right away. Okay? That was last week. CSX was supposed to have got them information because they responded back immediately to the email and said, you know, look, we're almost finished with the material list and the cost of things and the agreements to do this, and let's have an opportunity to do that. GDOT emailed them back and said, you know, this has got to happen very soon. You know, we want you to do it in a very timely manner. I talked back, I tried to call CSX, finally got a return call this afternoon. Unfortunately, the gentleman didn't know exactly where it stood because he had been trying to get it to the guy as well, but he did call me back. I did call GDOT again this afternoon and said, hey, have you gotten a response from CSX? And they said, not yet. But they did send out an email to CSX saying, you need to let us know what your plans are. So here's my issue with why it's a lot different and we have got somewhere. You know, it's not been an easy process, but we have continually pushed it. And we are at a point now where GDOT is saying we're going to charge you $500 a day. To me, that is a major attention getter. You know, because when they got that email, they responded immediately. You know, and so my issue is that I will continue to push GDOT that if they don't respond, let's implement that $500 a day. And that was the purpose of my call today. And GDOT, in response to that, turned right around and sent them an email asking. So, you know, as I told your Dad today, we don't have people physically working out there, but I disagree that we're not anywhere different than we were, you know, a few months ago. So
I'm still walking home. I still can't get a trailer in. I can't, work with the cows on the property.
Yeah.
I'm without. Y'all aren't. A fire truck still can't get there. It's still a safety issue and nothing's going on.
There is access to fire. We have access.
You drive that road and see if a fire truck can make it through. They can't make it through there.
I've driven.
Yeah.
Mr.
They
Sigley,
can't-
I have a question. Have you done anything proactive on your part?
Oh, I've called everybody in the world. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this with every commissioner that's been through here.
Just to clear the record and all, my understanding from the GDOT officials was that at some point the
It did at one period when Procter and Gamble bought all the land, but we still lived there. We still owned our property. Procter and Gamble got that done around us. But I've got a notarized piece of paper from the Board of Commissioners saying that road is open public to 200 feet past my driveway. Got it in the file cabinet. So,
What I'm having trouble understanding is that this is not a new problem.
no, it's not. It's been going on.
20 years. That at some point it came off the road inventory list or the bridge inventory list that the state had maintained. So you
The state never maintained it.
Well, it was not on a state list.
State inspected.
The state inspected
Inspected.
list. It was not part of our
It was
road
closed
list.
probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I don't know exactly the dates. I was younger then. I wasn't
So
living there full time.
When did the county pick it back up?
I've got the letter at the house. I'll have to look at the date. The reason was they closed the dump down over there in Harris City. They were coming down past our farm on the Procter and Gamble's land, dumping all their trash, shingles, nails, all kinds of stuff. Dan Branch said he couldn't patrol the place. So he said, block the roads off. So Procter and Gamble come in and put gates up. Then when I moved here full time, after my grandparents passed away, the county opened it back to 200 feet past my driveway. And that's the letter I've got from the commissioners that is notarized.
So that goes back, that was prior to 20 years, or this is?
No, I've been there 20 years. I've been there 20 years.
I guess that's
on the
where
property.
I'm getting all
Yeah.
confused, because I understand that it's a long-term issue, but that's not without, I guess, an input that,
The main thing is it's a safety issue. I can't get fire trucks, I can't get ambulances, I can't get home. Okay, that's the main issue. Nothing else matters. It's a public road, it's on the books now, and I cannot get home. And I'm tired of doing it this way. Y'all don't have to do that. Y'all can drive in y'all's driveway and pull in your carport and get a car. I can't do that. I don't have that luxury no more. So I'm tired of it, and some people need to step up to the plate and do something else besides staring. I mean, he's the only one doing anything. And y'all are elected officials for this county. Yeah, but what is y'all's job then? What are y'all here for then? If y'all are elected officials, shouldn't y'all back him up and help him? The more people that make phone calls, then make phone calls and do something. He can't do it all, y'all.
We make phone
Have y'all
calls.
made one phone call, any of y'all to the CSX?
Yes.
Who has?
I have.
Okay, that's the first time I've ever heard it from you. You've never spoke a word when I got up here and said,
What was his name?
His name was,
Hooping Garner.
Hooping Garner.
I know him very
I
well.
called you and told you I talked with him.
That's been a long time ago.
It certainly has, but
And now I'm blocked off. So before y'all called and did that, I didn't have concrete in front of the bridge. Now I got concrete in front of the bridge.
you have visited the bridge.
I have been
Because you've
there
also
with
been in
the
my
group.
office, I know.
I've been to the bridge.
I've been to
I deal with you.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah,
called CSX.
but I mean, it's not my fault that it's in this shape. I didn't do it, you know, but that's where I live. And y'all want my tax money and I can't get ambulance. The day y'all blocked it off, my niece is autistic, 30 years old autistic. Her mama was pushing her over there to feed the dogs. Had no clue the bridge was blocked. She fell out with a seizure in the yard. Now, couldn't no ambulance get in the back way then because nobody had cut the trees out of the way. If she'd have called an ambulance, wouldn't nobody been able to get out there and save her. If Gloria couldn't have handled it,
I mean, they're
Listen,
doing
my
what?
right, you can get through, you and I have been out there.
Ambulance,
it's if they can find their way through the woods, if they can get there.
I think y'all know where to go.
I've heard that. So I'm just telling you, I'm tired, y'all. It's long enough.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to do something else.
I'm telling you, it's a part of the conversation and trying to talk to somebody every single day.
But it's going to take more than fair, and he's got so much stuff on his plate, he can't do it all. Somebody else has got to step up and help him.
We're all part of the team.
Yeah, I don't see nobody else on the team. You know,
Well,
so.
They are. I appreciate all the back. As I say, you know, our issue with this is we are not going to let it go until we get something.
Okay, next on the agenda is awarding prizes for the wellness contest. Mr. Bill?
As you know, we just finished up a 4-week wellness contest. It was called a No Junk Food Challenge, and participants were awarded a point each day that they didn't eat the following things: no candy, no chips, dessert, white bread, fried food, sodas, and biscuits for 28 straight days. But we actually had one person who who scored a perfect 196, Marcella Reeves, is one of the jailers, so we're awarding her a gift card. We've got 3 more gift cards to award, which we're going to do now. You'll bear with me. You'll draw one of these numbers, Madam Chair. Gotta read that.
Judy Weldon.
Judy Weldon, she's in the Superior Court office.
Take these up.
Leave those in there. Ms. Reeves beat me by 4 points, by the way.
Shawanda Gates.
Wanda Gates.
911.
911.
Debbie Garner.
Debbie Garner.
That's 911 too.
911 as well. And these are $25 American Express gift cards provided by our new wellness partner at Free Shopping.
Okay. All right. Congratulations to these participants. Good job.
And we'll be getting those gift cards to them. Got their name.
Next on the agenda is about the signing. We've already done that.
Oh, no, that's gonna be, y'all talked about last week, $4,500 savings for ACCG members, sign the worksheet for that.
Okay. All right.
And we got an additional $2,000 in savings for the, saving program.
Okay.
That's Beverly was very instrumental in that.
Okay, next on the agenda is to allow the chairman to sign the renewal contribution worksheet for ACCG IRMA. And I'll let Beverly just give a few details on that since she was just telling us what that entails.
Well, we have our new renewal that came in from ACCG, and we have a safety program now. Because of having the safety program, it would allowed us to have an additional savings of $10,000. In last meeting, I think it was discussed about the dividend that was given from ACCG of $4,500. So in total, we have saved $14,521.
All right, can we have a motion to allow the chairman to sign the renewal worksheet?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
And Madam Chair, that premium is less than this year, the current year's.
That's right.
So our insurance program is trending down in premium,
That's good.
which is very good.
That doesn't happen very often. All right, next is permission to solicit bids on several culverts projects, and these are projects that we're working on with FEMA and JEMA.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, Claw Harbor, of course, has been engaged to help us with engineering and to move these projects forward. We sent them a sample of the contract and the bidding program that we had done on the paving. They are working on modifying that to take into account the bridges, culverts we got outstanding. And what we'd like to do is to ask the board to allow us to go ahead, once we get FEMA and JEMA's approval, and go ahead and move forward with bidding those culverts as they come in. I know that Line Road is on that list, King is on that list. Susan and I talked about some needed right-of-way easements today, but as soon as we can get FEMA and JEMA's approval on those, I'd like to have board's approval just to move forward with seeking bids. We'll bring those back to the board for your final approval. And of course, the bigger projects we have are going to still be a little bit longer down the line because we're going to have some hydrology to do with those. But at least the Jeep lines and the King Road and things of that nature can go ahead and do.
Okay. Hearing this request from Mr. Gay, I have a motion to allow them to go ahead and solicit bids on the culvert projects.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
All right, next will be our report from Mr. Bill.
Bank balance. As I mentioned earlier, our general fund balance dipped below $1 million yesterday, but it's back over $1 million today, which is good news. The rest of the bank balance are pretty strong. If you got any questions on that, I'd be glad to answer them. We are going to transfer $125,000 out of the 911 account to the general fund to help with that. Item I just gave you is the latest report from Three Rivers on the transit system that we're operating. That's just for your information to take a look at. I think I've got a copy of that. And the last thing I've got, Beverly and Thayer and I had a meeting, I don't remember which one, I think it was last week, with Key Risk, our workman's comp carrier. And we, very informative meeting, we talked about open lost time claims, claim reporting lag time, network penetration usage, trending analysis, transitional duty, return to work, and essentials risk management. By the time they got through the third or fourth, I was almost asleep until the agent mentioned that our bad claims were back in the year 2014, and after this year, they're going to go off. And the way we're trending right now, that they anticipate our premiums possibly going down, which is just, I almost passed out when I heard that. I was so excited about that. The reason being, let's mention a couple of things. Claim reporting lag time through 6/15/16, Marietta County is reporting claims at 92% for 3 days, 1.25 lag day. This is an excellent result, underlined excellent, and just 1 point shy of the policyholder goal of 92%. However, it is 30 points higher than the end of 2015, which is at 62%. So you can pat yours truly on the back for that, and the department heads and supervisors for taking notice of the program to actually report injuries like they're supposed to do, which they are doing now. We're excited about that. I mentioned the trending analysis earlier, and the last thing I want to mention is transitional duty. It is very important that injured employees, once placed on light or modified duty work restrictions, be returned to work in some capacity to help speed up the process in terms of getting the case resolved in an equitable manner. The longer the employee is out of work, the less likely he or she is to return, and the greater likelihood the case will settle high. So, to me, that was good news. We have the report, we're making copies and put in each one of y'all's box for you to review. If you got any further questions, we'll try to answer them. But in a nutshell, our workers' comp program is trending in the right direction. We've got some areas that still need to work on, getting people back to work sooner, light duty, whatever. But again, it's trending the way we want it to go. We're excited about that.
Thank you very much as well.
That's all I have.
Okay, report from my county administrator.
Sure, thank you. We have with us tonight Mr. Bobby Lawson. He had called me the other day. He wanted to come speak to the board just a minute and recognize the gentleman, I think, who he told me he picks up litter on the side section of the road every day. So come forward, Mr. Lawson, and we'll
Thank you, Madam Commissioner, and the Commissioner also. Mr. Charlie here has just moved into the county 3 years ago. Now, he picks up all the litter, all the way from Wilbur Keith Road to 109 every day. And he puts it in bags. I got some bags from the other Bruce. They're going to give me some more bags. But I'd like to recognize him. And also, he's a retired chief fire department in Miami Beach, Florida. EMT. Well, I put a little boost on there. We're over here two ways. We need some signs, and I know you can put them up, litter signs for $500 fine, and we'll catch them. We'll catch them and let them pay a fine, because if y'all, we live over there in the west end of the county, which is about say in LaGrange, Georgia or something, but we don't ever see nobody over there. We see the sheriff over there, we would call him, tell him we found the steel down there or something. But anyway, really, we need a firehouse. We're going to talk to one of the Millwoods up there that just bought all that land over there. And I helped build a firehouse in Fayette County in 1973. We had one fire station in Fayette County, and I lived in the north end of the county, and we got a 2,500 He's laughing, Mike.
I'm from Fayette County, that's why I'm smiling.
Oh, is that right? What part do you live in?
I lived between Peachtree City and Fayetteville, back in the early 70s.
Well, I lived, you know, well, 314
Yes,
in
sir.
Lafayette Drive. Well,
Yes,
you know
sir.
what it was up there, okay? We built that firehouse and had to move it 10 years later because the dam was about to break. The county took it over. We had a 2,500 gallon donated water tank, and we volunteered. And our insurance went down $500 a year. And my insurance over there on Keith Road, I'm 13 miles from the major firehouse, and I'm about 12 miles from Lonoke, Georgia. And I'm on fixed income, and you know what insurance is. That's what we need. And Mr. Charlie here, he does this every night. Every night, he gets a bag on one end and a bag on the next end every night. Now, we got some trees that fall over there, and they're still there. They just pull them up on the side of the road, they don't drop them up or nothing. And one day, somebody's gonna run into them, you're gonna have a nice lawsuit, but that's not up to me. But I would appreciate some help over there. Even if you did nothing but come down there and cut the side of the road. My daughter pays $200 a month for that Wilbur Keith and Keith Road to cut all that road. She cuts it all the way down almost to the county line on Wilbur Keith and cuts it all the way down almost to Beach Creek on that side once a month and has it edged. And you come over there and you look and you'll see a beautiful section now from Mr. Charlie here. And Mr. Charlie here wants to get up here. He's got a little proposition. I appreciate anything this commission would do for a bunch of old farts over there. Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you all. My name is Charlie Freer. I just moved here 3 years ago. I'm a retired Miami Beach firefighter. Had to get out of the rat race. I really like it up here. I live on a beautiful county road, and I can't understand why people throwing out so much garbage. Anyway, some of us have curbside garbage pickup, and some don't. I have a neighbor just a little bit down the road. They don't have curbside garbage pickup. Their backyard is their garbage dump, and I'm in the process of seeing about doing something about it. But anyway, I feel, it's my opinion, that the most immediate impact we can have on reducing roadside litter is if we go out to bid and have curbside garbage pickup for every residence in this county. In South Florida, we all had it, and we had far more people and far less garbage on the side of the road. And I pay, I think, $14 a month to Dependable Waste. That's very reasonable in my opinion. I imagine it'd probably stay the same if they were picking it up for everybody. I would like to find out, and I want to thank Rosa Plan, and I want to thank all of you for hearing me tonight, but she's been as helpful as she can, and I want to thank Bob for picking up the garbage bags that I leave at the corners. But what is the process to go out to bid and to get it approved, to have, levied in your taxes and curbside garbage pickup? I'd like to see that happen.
Well, it's already been discussed, and it's something that we're very much interested in trying to see if we can do. All of our surrounding counties do it, Harrison, Talbot, and I'm not sure about Troop, but I know Harrison, Talbot do it, and they pay for it on their property tax bill.
Yes.
It's something I would very much like to see.
Yes, most people that I talk to are for it, but this one family, they literally dump their garbage in their backyard. They have 4 residences, now it's down to 3 on 52 acres. My neighbor, whose property surrounds the back of theirs, he says if you saw it, it's pretty sickening. And I think the reason why that's happening is they're too cheap, they're old school, but if they had curbside garbage pickup and they were going to have it anyway, it probably would, I imagine it wouldn't be in their backyard. So,
Can you give us the address for that location? Do you know what it is?
You can send that to me.
Or send it to us.
Yes.
They've already been cited twice.
I'm working on it. I want to talk to my neighbor whose property surrounds his.
You know that.
I got to see, but anyway, I'm on that, okay? Mr. King?
Will you get me your name, I got your name, telephone number,
Yes.
contact information? We're looking at some big changes in fire service, and we'd like to, involve you guys as well.
Sure.
What we're looking to do.
Sure, I've been 26 years on Miami Beach. I've pretty much seen it all.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you give him his number, he'd like to get in touch with
I'll
you.
give it to him right now. How's that?
That would be great.
Chairman, the next issue I have, I'll move forward is, as you all know, we've been working very hard on our fire district meetings. Bill and I spend a lot of time on the road, and you guys have too as well. We've now met with, I think, every city except for one, and I'll be, our meeting on that got changed. So I'll be running that city down this week and meeting with them.
You will be with them tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So I couldn't have it last night or tonight. But anyway, the reception has been very good. We've had a lot of good response. Susan and I are working on a intergovernmental agreement that will allow the cities that want to participate to be a party to that. Mayor, we've got a couple of mayors here tonight. I have gone and spoke with them, and the feedback is very positive. So a lot of work's gone into that. Chief, appreciate what you guys have done. Brand, others, these guys have all, we're going to put together a PowerPoint. We'll probably work on that some tomorrow as well, where we can get out the information to everybody. So that's been a really big focus of ours, and again, I'm very pleased with the reception. Bill's done a great job of putting, numbers together, and he and Chief have been part of the presentation team, and I think it's been very well received. A little update on GDOT. Our striping program that we talked about may not receive funding, but before we write that off, I do want to make one more call to GDOT and see if I can maybe talk them into a little bit of money for striping. On the positive side, we did receive our new request for fiscal year 2017 LMIG, and that dollar amount has gone up pretty substantially. It's $653 or so $1,000. That is a program that if you guys desire, we could go ahead, because that's available July 1st of this year. So we could go ahead and put together another program. We have a good feel for what the dollar amounts are going to be, and we could probably pick up another 8 or 9 miles of paving this year if you guys wanted to do it. And we'll be talking to y'all about that probably at your next meeting. We also have received a call from GDOT that they want to replace a bridge on King Road at Keith Road, excuse me, I got King Road, Keith Road at Beach, I think it is.
Beach Street, yeah.
It's in bad shape. And they want to come in and they want to replace that bridge, do the engineering, all at GDOT's cost, which is a great thing for us. All we've got to do is provide a certified right-of-way. We've got to coordinate the utilities and close the road. And this is a bridge project that's coming this year, because it's a FY17 project. So we should be receiving some additional information on that right away, and that's a pretty good thing. That kind of made up for maybe some of our issues driving, but we haven't given up on that yet. So anyway, that's what we're working on. I should be receiving the details and the specs. I got an email on it today on the courthouse wall project. So that should be hopefully here, this afternoon or tomorrow. The engineer said he will be sending that to us and corresponding with GDOT on that, and so we'll be ready to let that project out to bid too. So,
Mr. Gay, I don't mean to interrupt, but I walked over that bridge. Now, I'm no lightweight, but I actually hear the bridge. And I'm just a person, not a car, And then actually,
You can't go over 30 miles an hour.
yeah, you gotta go over that thing slow. It's got all kinds of.
yeah, GDOT, I'm glad they recognize that, because they're willing to do it, and of course, that's a pretty good project.
It's still down now.
Really? Maybe we get that up in the process too. How about that?
Good.
That Chairman, we have a lot of stuff going on, but I won't bore you guys anymore. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll hear from our commissioners. Commissioner Flynn.
Only a couple of things. I do want to mention Business After Hours was very well received, and Bullock House, I was very encouraged to hear that that they're actually doing some expanding and upgrading, that that the Fireflies will be expanded toward the back. We'll have a bakery in the courtyard area. That they have plans to do some work with the patio. And the number one question they're still getting, that if they're going to rebuild the old location, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carolyn, but I believe they said that insurance is still a hold up on the little house fire. So, but they were moving forward, so that was very encouraging. The only other thing, actually went to the Lake Meriwether meeting, and we've got lots of opportunities, especially with the residents and the things that are going on at Lake Meriwether. And I just think it was great to have that type of forum for everybody to kind of come together. And lastly, I just want to mention Neil Fernandez's funeral. That was so impressive and a sense of pride that one of our own, it was as tragic as it was, and the preacher even used the term, death is unpredictable, but it's also inevitable. And we all need to live our life. And Neil had a little saying on his dash of his truck that we need to have these life rules: forgive, accept, serve, encourage, and submit. And I thought that was so unique and all, and it really gave me a sense of pride that our people, that especially knowing our volunteer base, we had such a turnout, and that with our apparatus and everything. And so I want to say thank you to the fire department, the EMS, and all of those that were there at service. So thank you very much.
I have just a couple of things I want to mention. It has been a busy couple of weeks, lots of meetings. Did get the opportunity to meet with the City of Manchester and the City of Warm Springs about the fire districts, and then attend the work session with the City of Warm Springs about the fire districts. A lot of good conversation going on, a lot of good things coming down the road for the county. Another thing I want to mention, and I know most everybody knows, the officer in Harris County that was shot in the line of duty, a few weeks ago. And I don't know if all of you know, he was an employee of Meriwether County at one time, was actually in Warm Springs. But a lot of his fellow officers have gotten together. They're doing a raffle for that family, and they're raffling off a number of items. I mean, just a load of items. And I have some of those raffle tickets. They're $20, and they're actually going to give it away, raffle them off next Wednesday, I believe. But if anybody's interested in helping that family, I do have a few with me here tonight. But I mean, it's guided fishing trips, it's guns, it's coolers, it's hunting trip with Michael Waddell. I don't know. I mean, it's just lots of things, but all going to a very good cause. I'm not real sure if the officer will be able to return to duty or not. I don't know what the status is on that, but he's certainly recovering from his injury. So, like I said, he's one of ours because he's in the law enforcement community anyway, but he truly was one of ours at one time. Commissioner McCoy?
Appreciate that. The words that have been spoken here in regards to Neil Fernandez and of course his family, I appreciate all of that. That was a touching ceremony, and I think Meriwether County did itself proud and turned out well for that. And of course, there's nothing going to replace Neil, I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a great ceremony. Having been a part of the fire district talks, I think the most impressive thing I'm seeing is the acceptance. I haven't heard one negative comment to date about the proposed fire district. Everybody seems to be on board with that, and I appreciate that. I think we're building up a little head of steam there, so maybe we can carry it all the way through till November. A couple of negative things I'm getting calls. One, the road closing or the bridge closing down on the Flint. The Rawlings family called me today, and they certainly seem to be upset that there's only so many crossings, and I think we have 3 here in Meriwether County across Flint River. And it does bring some hardship for some of those folks. But really and truly, when Pike County voted to close their side, I don't know what we could have done differently. You couldn't go across half the bridge. But anyway, I don't know how you could. You could go all the way to the other bank, but that would have been, okay. But anyway, so if y'all can think of anything that would help them or give them a better.
And it's for a week, right?
That is for 1 month, yes it is, 6 through the 13th.
One thing, if you could give me their telephone number, what I will do is I'll call Mike Riley.
We're here.
He's actually sitting back in.
Oh, okay, I'll call Mike Riley,
We've already talked tonight.
okay, so he has talked to you guys, okay. I was just gonna say, ask him to reach out to you guys, but
Well, we just wanted to ask for y'all to maybe to if you don't mind me interrupting, I'm sorry, Mr. McCoy, but we appreciate y'all listening to our grievances. Our issue is that we run businesses on both sides of that bridge. We have a large cattle operation, and we're responsible for a lot of property in Meriwether and in Pike County. And that bridge is our main connection, so we can run our businesses. And this puts a huge financial hardship on us for 9 days. They will not allow us, for 24 hours a day, we're not allowed to go across that bridge. I have over 300 head of cows right across the bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And if I have to go all the way through Woodbury and Molina, it's almost a 40-minute trip. And if I have cattle get out on the road and there's an accident or something, I can't get over there to correct the problem. I can't bring feed across to my cattle that come from Madison. I can't take cattle trucks across that bridge that have to go to the feedlots. That's 9 days that it affects me financially in my business. And we would just like to know if there's anything that y'all can help us with to stop this, or at least make the film company grant us access so many hours a day to get across. Pike County, I know, made the deal, and y'all, we're kind of hindsight,
Yes,
more or less,
we
it
were.
really is not your fault. But I know y'all have pull with Pike County, and we are also going to Pike County to try to stop this. But it's their business is not more important than the residents of Meriwether County. And you're bringing in outside companies to make money on our river, but you're financially penalizing us. And so I don't think that's fair. We pay taxes here, we own property here, we run businesses in these counties, and you're cutting off my business for 9 days so that an outside company can come in here and make a movie. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right for us to allow that to happen. And we just ask if there's anything y'all can do to help us with this situation, to stop it, or to make them go somewhere else. And we appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I think it was worth airing out. We needed to bring it up. And
Well, can I say something?
This is my husband, I'm sorry.
I talked to Mike Riley today. I know him a little bit from him being down here shooting movies in different spots, but it's caused me problems of getting through their traffic jams. But as what we're talking about right now, from my conversation with him, he asked me what I wanted out of all this. I said, I'm not looking for money. What I'm looking for is you to recognize the fact that my business is just as important as yours. I asked for him to sit down with y'all and to sit down with Pike County and come up with a plan to let traffic flow over that bridge 2 times a day. I didn't care if it was for an hour, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. He informed me that's not going to happen. It's a 9-day shoot. They're shooting film for 3 days. He told me they're setting up on the bridge for 9 days. It takes them 2 to 3 days, he said, to set their stuff up on the bridge. So they're not going to take it down for me to drive through and look after my business. So in my mind, it makes me think that Pike County cut a deal. I've already talked to an attorney today from Pike County. I know what the deal has been made. Pike County has agreed with him, Mike has agreed, his company, they're going to set up Pike County supposedly and build a boat ramp and a parking lot down there at the river, okay? That's their deal. They can't accept money, but they can't accept that kind of stuff. Who is that affected? I also found out today that the bridge is a state-owned bridge. It's not a county-owned bridge. So how can Meriwether County and Pike County shut down a state bridge? That doesn't make good sense. How can Pike County cut a deal to shut down a state bridge? That doesn't make good sense to me. Also, you come in to a county and you got a lot of money to spend because they're making a lot of money on these movies. He said, are you
Are you looking for financial? You can drive around. We're setting up 2 detours. I've already talked to Bruce O'Neill 3 days ago. We discussed the detours. My problem is, I hardly ever have cows out, okay? But when they get out, it's in the middle of the night. I got a phone call 2 weeks ago, 14 to 15 head of cows at the river, okay? I'm on the Pike County side, and I'm also on the Meriwether County side with cows. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It takes me 5 minutes to get across that bridge. The first thing the lady asked me was, how long will it take you to get there? Because I got deputies out in the road. Nobody knows much about cows when it comes to law enforcement. They depend on the farmers to show up and do what they're supposed to do. I showed up. You know what? It wasn't my cows. I didn't care. I helped the guy out and called the person they belonged to, and we got the cows off the road. But the point is, she said, how long will it take you to get there? I said, 5 to 10 minutes, just long enough to jump in some clothes and get the bridge. If I gotta go all the way to Woodbury and come back around and backtrack on 18 and come back up, do you realize what can happen with 15 cows on the road at 2 o'clock in the morning in an hour's time? It can turn into a train wreck. So I asked Mr. Mike Riley today, I said, who's going to be responsible if the cows get out of the pasture, a tree falls on the fence, and we've had some storms in the last 2 weeks. Who's going to be liable? I have liability insurance. But you know what? When you shut my transportation down, I don't think I'm liable anymore. So, you know, Pike County can do and they can cut their deal. But I've got a feeling down the road their deal's going to go sour. I don't know that I can make it go sour. I don't know that I can help get this somewhere else. He informed me that they did a traffic survey, okay? This was the least traveled bridge in Meriwether County. This man sitting right up here just told me his bridge creaks when he walks across it. You gonna tell me that bridge has got more traffic than this one's got? I don't believe that. I see log trucks coming across this bridge. They're cutting timber at Workers Farms, been cutting for a month. They're going down 18. They're crossing the bridge. Am I right, Bruce?
You're right.
I see feed trucks coming from Madison County crossing the bridge. Now, I'm really fixing to tap onto you. Here's what I got told today. I found out that there's 2 purlins under the bridge that have a little corrosion damage. Am I wrong, Bruce?
Two of them got a little bit, all of us got a little bit, but there's 2 a little bit worse than others. I went
Okay.
up under that Saturday and looked at it and took photographs of it.
Here's the thinking, okay? Put a 5-ton limit the other day on the bridge because Bruce and a bunch of DOT people supposedly was down there taking a survey with Mr. Mike Riley attending, okay? That bridge went from a large amount of tonnage down to 5 ton. I don't know if y'all realize what 5 ton is. 5 ton's not much. A log truck, empty, a cattle trailer with 10 or 12 cows on it. I'm over the limit. Now here's my question. Mike Riley told me that they're going to set up on the bridge. I know for a fact they got 3 tractor trailers that they haul equipment in. There's no place at the bridge to turn around. Where are they going to pull them tractor trailers and unload them and then turn them around? Not going to happen. They're going to cross the bridge. A tractor trailer loaded, maxed out, is 81,000 pounds legal. But you're crossing a 5-ton bridge now. You're going to set all of your stuff up on the bridge. And you're going to tell me, here's the story that I got told today by Mike Riley. There's 2 purlins bad, okay? But we've been told if we set up our weight 2 purlins down, that it doesn't matter what the 5-ton limit is. Well, the sign says 5-ton limit. It didn't say, well, 50 foot of the bridge, 200 foot of the bridge, or the Pike County side of the bridge. My question to him is, why is that any
different than a stretched out log truck or a stretched out feed truck, 52 foot long just on the body itself, not counting the cab. So you're stretching over 60 something feet. You're gonna tell me that log truck is always gonna be on them two pearls? No ma'am. They're gonna be stretched out, the same thing Mike Riley's doing with his equipment. It's legal for him, but it's not legal for me. And I pay county taxes, I own property. I run cows in this county, and I run cows in Pike County. I'm spread out. I'm not a little bitty guy running 10 head in his backyard. And I don't appreciate the fact that Pike County does what they do and can shut a state bridge down. I get a letter in the mail that says we're going to have law enforcement, we're going to have security at night. What are you going to do if I get that 2 o'clock phone call? That's not fair. My business, your business, if you own one, is just as important as your neighbor's business or a business in Fayette County or Coweta County or any other county. I do the same thing and respect the rules, and I pay my taxes like the lady was saying a while ago. So you know what? I appreciate the time of you listening, but this ain't right. All I simply ask for is to open that bridge up twice a day to let me go tend to my business. But instead, I get told, no, it's a 9-day, 24/7.
It's June, I'll have to pull it and see. I think it's June the 6th through
July 6th
through the 14th.
I'm telling you,
5th to the 14th.
I'm telling you, Mike Riley told me today, 9 days. They're going to shoot film for 3 days. It takes 2 to 3 days for him to set up on the bridge. So he says, I'm not tearing my stuff down. Well, then you know what? My opinion is, take your movie, take your money, and go spend it somewhere else where it doesn't affect the business people in the county, and a few people's getting paid off. He told me, I already made a phone call today, like I said a while ago, to an attorney in Pike County. He informed me there's people getting compensated for going out of their way. But he told me he ain't gonna compensate me, because then he's got to compensate everybody that crosses that bridge. In reply, I said, I'm not looking for your money. I want the bridge opened up 2 hours a day. That's all. That's not too much to ask. If he can't do that and make his move, he needs to go somewhere else.
Appreciate your comments, sir.
Thank you.
And I don't know what we can do at this time. We'll certainly look into it.
Don't lock me up when I cross the bridge, okay?
I'll bother you out.
I guess I have one other item here, and I'm getting some photographs and stuff of Panther Creek Road again. It looks like the pipe is pretty well deteriorated over there, as well as they're screaming for a motor grader.
We actually went over that day, changed the pipe out. The motor grader is scraped down to the center of the road and striking the pipe into place about that big.
I saw that.
Pulled a hole in it, put a patch on it.
So you have taken care of it?
Yeah.
Very good.
We went and put a new pipe in today.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Hines?
Thank you. Once again, it's been already expressed by this board, and not only this board, but the citizens of Marietta County regarding the loss of Neil Fernandez. So I just want to, once again, just give my condolences to the family, and I ask this community, which I think they're going to do anyway, is just keep the family in prayer and just show the love that this county and this community show anyway for this family. So that I do have a couple things. There was an article in the New England Times Herald, and it was brought to my attention that this individual is a resident of Marietta County and a graduate from Greenville High School. I'm not going to read the entire article, but it says Dr. Angela Brown, an early childhood care and educator instructor at West Georgia Technical College, has been named the state top technical education instructor. Brown, who teaches at West Georgia Technical College on the Coweta campus, received the 2016 Rick Perkins Award for Technical Instructions in the ceremony that was conducted at the technical school on April the 20th. Once again, this is a native of Marietta County. She's a graduate from Greenville High School, and she presently still lives here. This is a great honor. This is like the Professor of Technical of the Year, for the state. So once again, I think it's always important to acknowledge those in our county that's doing good work. And so I just wanted to bring it. If you've not seen the article, would like to read more about it, it is on the county Facebook page. And so once again, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. There's a lot of good things going on, and unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that we still got to work on. Roads, just ordinance, so there's a lot of work. And once again, I want to commend this board for always being proactive, and we're always looking at opportunities to better our community as a whole. One of the things that this board does a lot of is we do go to a lot of meetings, and we go to a lot of training classes, and I had the opportunity to attend a training class in Douglas County last week, and this is from the ACCG, and I just want to basically highlight something, and Mr. Gay, I will give this to you and give it to the other board members. But it was brought to our attention that the Governmental Accounting Standard Board, which is GASB, is now requiring counties to begin disclosing the effectiveness of tax abatement agreements and entering into with a third party. So starting the next auditing year, all counties would have to disclose the tax abatements and what that entails. So we'll make sure that Marietta County gets all this information, that we are abreast with what that looks like, so that when our accountants get ready to come in and do that, we will be up to date and be prepared for it. So it was very good information. The other thing that was taught, brought attention, and we've Bill, you're gonna like this. They talked about government and risk management, and once again talking about being proactive on your HR department and making sure your wellness programs, anything to manage the way that the county operates and make sure that you're getting the best return on your dollars. So it's good to know that Marietta County and that you all are doing such a good job regarding that in our HR department. And it was nice to know, it was not nice, it was good for me to be able to say Marietta County had a wellness program that was being very effective, and the results were very good. For some of those who are out here in the audience, they were like, well, why are you all talking about people losing weight and this like that? But when you have healthy employees, you have good employees, they work efficiently, and in the long term it saves, and they are more committed. And that is one of the great costs, not just for counties, but even a business, is your health care. So I'm happy to say that we are very proactive in that area, and so thank you all for all the hard work that you are doing.
I had mentioned the wellness committee, they're instrumental in what we do. They're a very strong committee. They're the safety committee that Chief Heinenberg heads up to. Very, very strong committee as well, and they bought into what we're trying to do, and they're really pushing hard.
I said, Mr. We're doing good results. I think everybody has lost weight or something. I didn't let go of the cookies. The other thing is, last Tuesday, I had a town hall meeting in the Appleton area. I felt it went very well. It was a very successful meeting. I received a phone call from some of the residents regarding Highway 362 and Mount Carmel Road. And so that is a state road, so quite naturally the county really didn't have a lot of say-so, but we contacted Georgia Department of Transportation, GDOT. They sent over 2 representatives, Mr. Peak and Mr. Wood. We had approximately, about 35 people?
About 50 people.
Okay, 50 people. It was a lot, and it was a very well-attended meeting. A lot of good information was presented. The concerns of the citizens were really listened to, and I understand the next day, GDOT was out there surveying 362. And I'm sharing this to say to the citizen, when you bring things to our attention, we may not be able to act on things right then and there, but I assure you we're listening to you all, especially around roads, especially around our fires, but unfortunately things don't happen overnight. But I assure you that we are working on some things that you will see some good results. But we ask that you let us know and I appreciate the gentleman to come telling us tonight about what's going on your road on
Keith Road.
Keith Road. The litter is a big problem in Marietta County. It's a problem all over the county, and we now have Keep Marietta Beautiful, so hopefully more people get engaged with that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Is it Rollins? Rollins. Thank you all for coming to let us know the challenges that you're having. And the thing is, we can't make changes, we can't grow, we can't do things in a more positive way unless you all bring this to our attention. But I also want to say things don't change overnight. And especially when there's other parties involved. This thing with the Sibley's, with the bridge, this has been going on for 20 years, and I would honestly say more has gotten done in the past month with this board and with the help of Mr. Gay than the whole 20 years. So once again, we're doing a lot of good things. You're going to see a lot of good positive things in the next couple of months, but we have to work together as a team. So that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our county attorney?
We're going to have a need for an executive session. We've got some legal, personnel, and tax matters we need to discuss.
All right, before we go into executive session, we'll come to the time on our agenda where it's public comment. If there's anybody in the audience who would like to just ask a question, say anything, you can come to the podium, give us your name and address, and we'll give you 3 minutes to talk.
To the board, my name is John Cerise. I'm from District 1 up in Luthersfield, and I want to address the Recreation Department. Now, during the Jason Reese tenure, I've been here during that whole fiasco. During that time, every meeting, he had to give a report as a department head. He had to tell what he'd done, how much he spent, how many people were involved, and all that. In the last fiscal year, you allocated $150,000 to Manchester because you dismanned the Recreation Department for the county so that Manchester could run it. I have not heard one report given as to how the money has been spent, how many people are actively involved in recreation. I did hear Mr. Gay say he manned one, what was that? You manned down at Woodbury, you did man one recreation concession stand. I've heard nothing else given on that money. Where is it going? How much is being spent? What meetings are being held? Who is in charge? Who is the board director? Who's on the board? I remember attending a meeting. Nothing else has happened since then, to my knowledge. I've not been informed about that. But I think
Dallas was here just, 2 meetings ago?
Yeah.
And gave us a report.
But my thing is that I was unfortunate to not be at that meeting. 2 years, I think that's one of the 2 meetings I missed. But my thing was that you were supposed to give a report every month. Every month we were supposed to be told how many people were actively involved in the recreation department from each part of the county. We were supposed to be told how many facilities were available so that the children could attend. Who was in charge? Who was doing what? Where the money was going? I've heard none of that. And I've been here at these meetings every second Wednesday and fourth Tuesday for 2 years. $150,000 you took back, and you said it was going to be for the entire county. Manchester was in charge. I've heard nothing. Thank you.
My only comment is that we've got more going on in recreation right now than we've had in years. Very successful program. They had a tournament this past weekend. The employees that we have that are part-time down at Woodbury Gym managing that went down to help with that program. They're gearing up for football. They've produced a lot of flyers and all promoting the sports programs, the T-ball programs, etc. I actually personally passed those out in Luthersville and put them in all of the stores and facilities there. And when I went back and checked, they'd been picked up. So obviously, and they got some participation there. I think the agreement says they'll come quarterly and give us a report. We are about to hire another full-time person, move forward with that, and that action should be coming back very soon. So I'm in communication with Recreation very, consistently, and, I think the program's going very well. No, they haven't been here every week to dazzle you guys with numbers that maybe don't add up, but, I think the program's going very well. But we will get them back, back here to give you a report, so, I'm sure. I'll get that taken care of.
I didn't sign the list, but I do want to say thank the board for being as transparent as you've been since I've been attending. You encourage us to come, but some of us are getting a little old, and here is the first thing to go. So sometimes we can't hear what the speaker or the whatever is saying. So and I don't know if it's because of the fans, or maybe you need to try to put a little mic there, so that those of us, well, evidently they are using this, but I don't know. It's hard to hear back here, honestly. We can hear the board members, but the other participant, it's a little hard to hear. Okay, all right. Thank you. Well, Byron told me to use the word acoustic, or whatever.
Did you sit up on the front row, Miss?
Yeah,
Acoustics are better.
Tommy Johnson from Woodbury, excuse me, boys. She's absolutely right. We can't understand things that are going on here because of the podium being where it is.
This up here.
The podium would work a lot better if it had been back over here where we used to keep it.
It's a recorder,
That's not,
sir.
that's
Does it, oh,
recorded fine.
I mean, sorry.
Anyway, I'm just, that's exactly what I was gonna get up and say. I can't see Bill from where I sit back here, up there, and Beverly.
We'll look at that.
For me, it used to work better over here.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Quickly, I don't think anything's been mentioned about what a success a nice event Peaches in the Pines. I think most of us were there, and it was organized, and we had a good turnout, and I think we'll grow even more so next year. I hope to get more involved, but it was lovely, and thanks to everyone who was so involved with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening to everyone, to the board and the chairman. I have two things, and they ain't gonna take long. Mr. O'Neill, this one, first one is to you. Bruce, where are you all at on keeping the roads? Cause our road got to grow up the side of it. I ain't talking about, I mean, the potholes already done made a mess, but we need the grass cut on the side of our road. I haven't seen y'all down there this year. I seen you down there riding. I have to give Mr. Gay and Miss Hine an applause. I called them, they came running. When the Putwood was down there, they still down there. It's there. And I have one more question I wanted to ask. I was in Greenville, and I wanted to ask, who is in charge of the facilities at the people where they go to jail? The jailhouse. I've never been in there. Have any of y'all ever been in there to see the shape the jail is in? I know they're criminals, but they still have to have somewhere nice when you put them in the jail. Can either one of y'all tell me y'all been there to visit? No. Well, is it true?
Clarify that.
Is it true that it ain't even fit for a pig to be in?
That's not what I saw when I was
Last
there.
time I was there.
I'm talking about, and that's where they be sleeping and stuff. Well, I got the wrong report. I ain't been up there to see for myself. But I don't care if you here done did a crime. I mean, you have to have somewhere nice to sleep. You know.
I've been when they did not know I was coming, and I have never seen, other than a few years, several years back, I went down there and there was a mess, but that's been probably, gosh, that's probably been 5 years ago.
Well, have you been there, up there for the last 5 months visiting?
Not in the back in the last 5 months, I've been in the.
Madam Chairman, I can address that. If she'd like to, I'll be glad to get her set up at the jail too, if she'd like to. You're welcome to come up there and we'll set you.
Yeah, I wants to. That's when I came up here.
I'll give you
I
my
wants
card
to
before
see.
you leave, and you're more than welcome.
Okay, because I mean,
I can assure you that the jail is in a habitable condition compared to what we encountered 3 years ago when the new administration took over.
okay, that's all I have.
Had to go to jail too.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, we do have a need to go into executive session, and any of you that would like to wait till we come out, you're certainly welcome to. But in case you don't, I just want to mention our future meetings. July 4th, of course, will be a holiday. July 13th and July 26th will be our regular meetings. If anybody is interested in one of those tickets before you leave, before I go to the executive session, we'll do it. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'm gonna do some brands
Second.
up there.
All in favor?
Brands and Dixon's up